Hello everybody. Today I will teach you multithreading. Multithreading basically is a way of executing multiple tasks at the same time. So it's a concurrent execution of your code. And this is actually very helpful for cases like if you want to process files at the same time, you want to send emails for your customers, and at the same time you want to update the database. You can achieve that with multi-threading and create a thread for each task, right? And this is actually won't interrupt the whole application because each thread has its own execution, right? So let me show you how we can implement or create threads in Java. First, let me create a class, and this class, for example, I will call it insert into db, and this is actually like we are imitating like we are inserting into actual database. All right, so there are two main ways of implementing or creating a thread. The first one is by extending a class called thread, sorry. And this is actually not the best way because you only have one you can only extend one class. So I will go with the other way, which is actually implementing the runnable interface, and this is actually much better because we have the ability to implement more than one interface. So let's now overwrite the method, the run method, which is actually here in this block. We can execute our code. So let's say we are going to insert into the database, insert into db. We're not doing the actual implementation, but this is just some we are printing some statements just to explain the idea. And then we are printing that inserting to db has been done, like that. Let's now create this test our application. We have to create a thread. So t1, I'm going to create a thread. I'm going to call it t1, and this is going to be new thread, and we are passing or creating an instance of our class we have just created. Yes, like this. And there's another step. We will t1.start. Yes, basically it's like this. All right, let me run the code. Insert into db, and inserting into db has been done. This is much better. Let's type it this way. And yeah, we can this way we can execute multiple or create multiple threads. Let me create multiple threads by this to this class. Okay, let me create 4, and then int I equal, for example, 0, and then I is less than 10, and then I plus plus. And let me show you something. Let's add a number to the database. So basically let's create a constructor here, and I'm gonna copy this public right? And we will have a integer, let's say number, and let's create a property here called number, or sorry, int number, and I'm gonna let's leave it like this, and this dot number will equal the number that we will pass when we create an instance. So let's pass here the I like this, and let's add here like plus number, and here let's add plus number. Let's add some space here. Let's add some space here. And if we execute inserting into DB, as you can see here, the number, you know, there is the numbers is different, 2 and then 0 and then 1 and then 4, and if we run again, you will find different numbers, because you know, there is no guarantee that threads will be running you know, at the same order, or you know, so we can run multiple times, and you know, you will find different threads and different execution. But as you can see here, you know, there is, you know, some parts have been inserted to the database, and some parts have been done successfully inserting into the database. There is no guarantee which thread will be you know, will be executing first, you know. And this is actually the idea behind threads. It's the ability to execute multiple codes at the same time, and you know, without interrupting each other. So this is actually the explanation in a nutshell. Let me just show you something else in the threads, which is actually, let me here add an if statement. If number equals 4, let's throw an exception. Let's just yes, let's say failed dp, and let's print the number, and let's throw an exception. Okay, let's run time exception. Right, let me run again. As you can see here, the insertion to database 3, 5, and 9 and 1, 8, and all these databases has been done successfully. We are also inserting to DB4, but the insertion has failed because we run here the exception. There is an exception, you know. This is actually the one of the amazing thing, because you know, all the threads has been successfully executed except for this thread, and this is the only thread that has been failed. And as you can see here, this exception has not stopped the program from continuing execution of other stuff. And this is a really amazing thing about threads actually. I think you got the idea now. It's like a standalone program. So if a program failed, the other programs can continue without any problem, right? So let me create, okay, let's just remove all these. Let me and as you can see here, we can also continue do stuff in here and say processing other stuff here, there's no problem. There's no problem. Let me just show you. There's no problem in processing, you know as you can see here, we can continue without any problem. And there's an exception, and everything works, gratefully. We can continue without any problem. Right. So I hope this explains the idea behind uh, why and when to use um, multi-threading. And let me just create another class to implement. Let's say um, send emails. I'm not sure. And with the same way that we've done before, we can implement the runnable, and then we have to override the run method, and then we have to do the sending emails, and sorry, and here we are saying sending emails like this. And we can also at the same like we've done here, we can say thread, and we call send. We can call it anything. I'm just call it here as send emails, and then new thread, and then we have to pass new send emails, and sorry, and then we have to say send emails dot start. And what's wrong here? Let me just say T or THD as thread. I'm not sure if this is the best. What's the problem here? Oops, it was a typo. Not sure what was the typo, but anyways, we can continue. And as you can see here, there is sending emails, and we are running like multiple threads at the same time. Here we are running 10 threads, and here is one thread, and here is the one, the main thread of our application. We actually basically by default we are running on a single thread. It's basically the one, the application that runs, but we have the ability to create multiple threads. It's like creating 10 applications or multiple applications running at the same time, and they are standalone applications. I hope this clarify the idea behind multi-threading, and it explains it accurately. And yeah, this is pretty much about this video. If you have any suggestions, or this is not, that the best explanation, let me know so I can make it even more clearly. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.